All right, switching everything over to UI Router isn't going to be the easiest job. It's not going to be the quickest thing we've ever done, but we're going to tackle it in kind of a progressive fashion so that we can see what's going on. So the first thing we'll do here is just get rid of all of this demo stuff that we had from last time. We'll get rid of this controller down here, and let's get rid of all of these states, these two states here, and we'll just keep the one for now. And what we'll do is call this classifieds. We want the state name to be classifieds, and we want it to be accessible at this classifieds route. All right, and then let's get rid of this template that we have here, this string for a template, and instead let's point ourselves to a URL. And we haven't created this file yet, but we will in a second, and it's going to be at components, classifieds, and then we're going to want classifieds TPL for template.html. So that's going to be the file that's used as the template for this specific state. And then we still want to use our classifieds controller, so we'll say classifieds controller as, and let's just use VM as our alias here. We'll keep it short with VM. Okay, so let's save that. And what we're going to do now is tear apart our index.html file. Let's get rid of this ng controller here. We don't need a controller reference right on the body tag now because we're defining our controller right here within our state. So we've gotten rid of that. Let's now take everything that we see here within the body tag, and let's grab it right down to here where MD content ends, and let's cut that out. And now what we'll do is we'll come over here into our components directory, and we'll say we want a new directory. So we're going to do new folder, and we'll do classifieds. And then within classifieds, let's create that new file, which is our classifieds template. So classifieds.tpl.html. And now let's paste that in there. So here is our template file now. All right, so now within our index.html, what we'll need is a way to get our various states to show up. And the way that we do that, like we've seen before, is with UI view. So we'll say UI view, and now this will be the spot where all of the various states that we have will be displayed. So for example, our classifieds template here will be displayed through this UI view tag whenever we're at the classifieds route. And so we'll make a couple more edits here to our template. We'll get rid of all this stuff that we were using before for the demo for UI Router, and that's fine like that. And so now let's go over to our controller and let's change things up here. Instead of having everything on scope like we do, we're going to want to use the this keyword to bind all of our properties and methods to this controller. And once again, we should be doing that with a capture variable, and we'll just use, again, VM for view model. So var VM equals this. And so now anything that we attach to this VM variable will be accessible in the view once we refactor it. So a best practice for our controllers is to have all of our members up top that point to various functions and properties within our controller down below. And so I'll show you what I mean by that. Instead of having, say down here, saying vm.openSidebar, what we should be doing is calling this a function. And then what we can do is point to it from up here. We can say vm.openSidebar is equal to openSidebar. And so now this is going to be very easy for us to see what's happening in our controllers because we just look up here at the top, we see we have a member openSidebar on our VM, and it points to this openSidebar function, which we can then go find below. So let's do that for the rest of our methods and properties here. Let's do close sidebar and save classifieds. All right, and then we'll come down here and we will delete scope from it and we'll call it a function. And then we'll continue refactoring it like such. All right, so next we have edit classified, save classified, and delete classified. So let's come back up here and do the same thing. And we'll just, again, delete scope from each of these. And I'll just do a multi-line select here to make this a little bit faster. And there we have it. Our functions are set up and we're pointing to them from these members up top. So we have a little bit more to do, of course. We've also got our classifieds here on scope and our categories on scope. And then we've got some other things like these properties, editing, open sidebar, etc. So let's change those up now. Let's just grab scope here and everywhere that it shows up within this classifieds factory call. And we'll take all that out and say vm.classifieds and vm.categories. And even though we don't want to initialize these with anything, we should still put them up top here. So we'll say vm classifieds and vm categories. All right, what's next? Well, we come down here and we see we've got editing and open sidebar and classified here. So let's come up here and we'll say vm.editing. And coming down here, we'll get rid of scope and we'll say vm. And then open sidebar here is a function that's here within our controller. And so instead of saying scope.openSidebar, let's just get rid of scope altogether and we'll call open sidebar directly. We're going to want vm.classified here. And of course, we'll need to put it up top. And then coming down, what else do we have? Well, we have scope editing here. So once again, we can say vm.editing. And our classified will be on VM as well. And then close sidebar again is a function that's available here. So we'll just call it directly close sidebar. And then down here in delete classified, we need to say VM classifieds. And let's see what else we have. That looks to be about all from what I can see. Let's just do a quick search to see if we have scope showing up anywhere else. And so just injected there within our controller is the only place we have it. All right, so let's just make sure that this is all still working. If we save that and come back over here to our browser and refresh, we see we're still here at state 1, and that's not going to work because we just deleted that state from our state provider. So we'll say classifieds. And so as you can see, nothing is coming through here on our page. And the reason for that is we did not yet edit our template to make use of our alias. So again, here within our state provider, we've got classifieds controller as VM. So now in our classifieds template, what we'll need to do is put VM in front of anything that is being called from our controller. So for example, VM open sidebar. And what we'll need to do is go through and find everything from our controller that's being referenced and put VM in front of it. So let's just start top to bottom here. We'll need to say that we want category in vm.categories. We'll need vm.saveClassified. We'll need vm save edit. Close sidebar. We'll need here to say VM classifieds. And then down here, edit classified and delete classified, we need to put VM in front of as well. All right, so let's see if this works now. Coming back over and refreshing, here we go. We've got everything showing up once again. So let's see if everything's working. If we do a new classified and we'll say new item, let's say save, what we see is that nothing is coming through. So let's check the console. And we've got cannot read property push of undefined. So let's check things out here. Back in the controller, what's happened here? Oh, I see. We've still got scope here. So we didn't take care of all of our instances of scope here, but we can do that now. We'll say VM classifieds push, and then VM classified is going to be set to an empty object, and then we'll close the sidebar. So let's save that and check it out again. We'll refresh and try once more. All right, classified saved, and there it is showing up below. So it seems like the first part of our refactoring is taken care of. What we'll want to do is actually put all of these in alphabetical order, all of these properties and methods. And so that's a good way for when we have a lot of properties and methods on our capture variable to have things better organized for us to find what we want faster. So let's see here how I do with the alphabet. Probably need to move VM categories up here to the top. That looks like the first one. What do we have next? Classified and classifieds. So we'll say classified can come up top first before classifieds. And then we'll want close sidebar next, I think is the next one. And what else do we have? Delete classified should come next. All right, we've got edit classified and editing. So I think we'll do editing first. And then edit classified. And then we ended up here with save classified twice somehow, so we'll just get rid of that. All right, so I think that's in the proper order. I'm not going to go through it to double check, but you can if you want to. So in the next video, what we'll do is take a look at how we can add additional routes here. We can do a subroute like classifieds new. And that, what we'll want from that is for it to open up this add classified sidebar whenever we're at classifieds new. And similarly, we'll want the same thing to happen for classifieds edit when we specify a particular classified that we want to edit. And we can take care of that by doing something like appending the number of the classified, the identifier for it, to the end of the URL. So let's take a look at that in the next video.